What's up? My name is Eric Butler. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back and from 2Fab, which I believe to be some sort of TMZ subsidiary. Jamie Foxx rep denies viral rumor that the forced pharmaceutical or the experimental elixir left him partially paralyzed, blind. And this is a picture perfect example of fake news, because you look at that headline and you think, okay, well, let's figure out what happened to Jamie Foxx. He's really coming out and telling us, or maybe one of his reps, as they put it, but that's just not the case. They're completely lying because they know that nobody, or I shouldn't say nobody, but very few people are going to take a moment to read past that headline. They can just say, oh yeah, his rep came out and said it's all fine. Like, those people are conspiracy theorists. They're all wrong. You're not a doctor. Trust the science, bigot. It's ridiculous. The unsubstantiated rumor came last week from the digital Ask Drew show. A guest claimed Jamie Foxx was forced to take the forced pharmaceutical to continue working, resulting in a blood clot leading to a stroke, and quickly began circulating in anti-vaxxer circles. Now, was it not true that they were forcing people, even Hollywood actors, to take this stuff to keep working? Did that never happen? Are they rewriting history that quick? People couldn't go to school. People couldn't go to work. You couldn't go to Applebee's notoriously without proof of paperwork. And now they're just, oh, well, we weren't forcing people to do that. It was just a suggestion. They're rewriting history on the closure of schools as well. Oh, we didn't really do that. Randy Weingarten, whatever her name is, and Dr. Fauci completely rewriting history. Meatball Ron rewriting history out in Florida too. But those, of course, are all different stories, not exactly what this is about, and I digress. Moving on. After a rather outrageous and totally unsubstantiated, so now they've used unsubstantiated twice to really let you know that anybody who disagrees with this forced pharmaceutical, is completely out of their mind. And they're an anti-vaxxer, right? And there was a point in time, I should say, where the mainstream media was mocking people for doing their own research. Well, you're not a doctor. You're not a scientist. Doing your own research, you're going to kill someone. If you don't wear 2 masks to Trader Joe's, you're going to kill grandma. It was all absolutely ridiculous. I knew it from the start, but looking back at it now, it's even worse. An unsubstantiated anti-vaxxer rumor about Jamie Foxx's recent hospitalization began to go viral. The actor's rep stepped in to say it's not true per NBC News. The actor's rep? Is that right? Is Dr. Drew Pinsky a representative for Jamie Foxx? Is that what I'm learning now? That's really the breaking news. Not that Jamie Foxx is fine and nothing happened to him. It has nothing to do with the forced pharmaceutical, but that Dr. Drew is Jamie Foxx's representative now? I didn't know. That's news to me. The rumor began on the digital talk show Ask Dr. Drew, hosted by Dr. Drew Pinsky, back on May 30th. Dr. Drew welcomed gossip columnist AJ Benza, who cited a source close to the actor to make his claim. So it's funny how 2Fab, which of course, well, I shouldn't say of course, but I think is part of TMZ, are kind of downplaying gossip columnists, even though that's what their whole brand is based on, right? But because he doesn't fall in line, and he might fall in line on everything else, but he has this inside scoop about Jamie Foxx, so they have to completely discredit him. He then said that Foxx was left, quote, paralyzed, partialized, and blind due to complications after taking the pharmaceutical. Benza said he was forced to get the shot for a film he was working on and that the injection led to a blood clot, ultimately resulting in a stroke. Now, it's so funny how the medical establishment, the media establishment, and the political establishment, which are all basically one, little sects of the same gang, shall we say, the farm mafia, as I like to call them. It's very strange to me how they can constantly they can find something to blame every single thing that happens on anything but the shot, right? Oh, long COVID. Oh, the sun monster. Oh, you're not getting enough sleep. Oh, red meat, this, that, and the other. But we know for sure, according to them, that it cannot have anything to do with the pharmaceutical that they were forcing on people. That's just a bridge too far. Benza did not name his source, Pinsky did not challenge his claim, and the journalist did not immediately respond to NBC News' request for comment. This latest claim comes nearly a month after Fox's daughter, Corinne, posted to her Instagram story that he'd been home for weeks and even felt well enough to play. I guess that means play with his daughter. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. His Beat Shazam co-host said he felt compelled to speak out about his health then. The family has never specified why he was hospitalized because of erroneous speculation that he was taking a turn for the worse. Foxx was hospitalized on April 12. He's now attending physical rehab in Chicago as part of his recovery. And it does beg the question, why don't you just tell us what happened, right? So if somebody claims to have the inside scoop and goes on a talk show or a podcast and tells you that they have the scoop, then that's better than nothing. And it's crazy how these media people who are known for lying, we all know they're lying, we can all see through their lies, want to point the finger at somebody else and say, oh, he didn't confirm that, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Everybody loves the Farm Mafia. This thing works like a charm. There's nothing wrong with it. Remember when people were dropping suddenly? That ship sailed. We can't even talk about that anymore. This latest rumor began picking up steam in anti-vaxxer circles online and was even acknowledged by right-wing personalities like Charlie Kirk and Kevin Sorbo. And here they are again, pretending that a conservative personality lives out in this faraway galaxy and they need to be studied like creatures. It's like they're just regular people, right? You're the one that's acting weird. You're the one that's forcing people to do stuff they don't want to do. And they talk about the conservatives like, well, look at what the conservatives said. Oh, like, I mean, dude, just give it a rest. You're the one creating the divide. You're the one hollowing out the middle of arguments, the middle ground of arguments, and hollowing out the middle class, but that too, different story. As well as conservative commentator Candace Owens on her YouTube podcast, who suggested the claim must be true because Fox's family didn't condemn it. And no, it doesn't have to be true, but if it weren't, why would they not just say, nah, that's not what happened. Here's what happened, right? He could make a statement. He could put out an email. He could put out a press release, but he won't, right? And maybe he just genuinely doesn't care. Maybe he doesn't want the press. Maybe he doesn't want the headlines. Of course, he's in rehab right now for something, so he probably doesn't want it. But it is a little bit strange that we're supposed to take your word for it that he's okay when somebody who claims to have the inside scoop is completely, lambasted as not verifying and completely unreliable. And still, we haven't got to the point where Jamie Foxx's rep, as they said in the headline, is going to debunk this or whatever they like to say. And this is, now they are quoting Candace. Their silence seems as though there is some veracity to this claim, she argued on Tuesday's show. We're all holding our breath to see whether Jamie Foxx speaks out. Well, she and all her fans, they kind of like eye rolling. They're like, can you believe Candace Owens has fans, even though she's a black woman? And we are, of course, supposed to praise her and worship the ground she walks on in any other case, right? If you're Cardi B, if you're Lizzo, if you're any Lotto, any of these other women who are, promoting promiscuity and abortion, they need to be uplifted. We need, they should be doing interviews with Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton. They're the best. Of course, that's only because they are the last vestige. They are the last demo that the establishment completely has their claws in, and they can still manipulate most, but not all, right? Because the black men, that ship sailed a long time ago. We can partly thank Kanye West and guys like Brandon Tatum and Anthony. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people, right? Because they're not as stupid as the establishment wants them to be. But of course, different story. I'm getting off track a little bit here. Let me get back on. Well, she and all her fans, how dare they like Candace Owens, can breathe now. Penske responded to NBC News about the interview, saying via email he invited Benza on because the journalist said he had information about Foxx. Quote, the statements from AJ were based on his own confidential sources, so I can't speculate further than what he said on the show, Penske wrote. So now they are claiming that Penske is a representative for Jamie Foxx, when really all he's saying is that I am taking this guy's word for it, or I'm not taking this guy's word for it. I can't confirm it myself. That's all he's saying, and that's what 2Fab wants you to believe is a Fox representative debunking the claims of the gossip journalists. It's just through the roof, and they know that most people are not going to look past that headline that says, his rep, what's the denies viral rumor, right? Anybody who looks past that headline will find out that they are They don't have that. They literally do not have that. They have a guy who hosted a podcast and talked to the guy who said it saying, I don't know. That's all they have. It goes on. I sincerely hope that AJ's sources are wrong and Mr. Foxx will make a full recovery. There is no evidence, and I have no reason to believe that his medical condition is directly related to the pharmaceutical or a post-Rona phenomenon. Any evidence of either would have to come from his physicians. So Dr. Drew, who has been on TV for decades, is now magically a rep for Jamie Foxx and is denying the rumor that the gossip columnist said on his show. They're completely lying. How does this even get through? The former Loveline co-host previously apologized for downplaying the severity of Rona, calling it a press-induced panic after he contracted it in December. Whatever. So they have to rake him over the coals at the end there. Oh, he downplayed the severity. It was a press-induced pandemic. And at the time, I thought it was all about Donald Trump. I now know that it is a much bigger power grab than that. But that's not what this is about. So my point here is this is a perfect example of fake news or, manipulation. They literally do not have, at least not in this story, a representative for Jamie Foxx denying that rumor. What they have is the host of the show that the rumor was started on saying, I don't know, I can't confirm it. That's literally all they have. Nobody is denying it, and he is certainly, as far as I can tell, not a representative for Jamie Foxx. But I guess why would anybody take 2Fab or TMZ for that matter seriously? So shout out to these absolutely awful hacks going to bat for the medical establishment, going to bat for the political establishment, and publishing completely false headlines. So, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe.